Alright, so welcome back to Building the Chippewas. We are at the start of the 2025 season, and I think we already handled recruiting in the tail end of last night's stream. So, we get to just simulate right off the bat. San Jose State has already won their first game. They're the only cupcake, potentially, maybe, on our non-conference schedule, because there's something I didn't realize last night. If only I could find it. There it is. Team schedule. Was Austin bullshitting me? No, he wasn't. I didn't realize this. We're scheduled against #1 Florida State, which means we take on 2 top 10 teams in non-conference. I totally forgot that the MAC still has 4 non-conference games. All right, so the CMU Chippewas are 1-0. How did we do? I'm sorry. CMU has a defense? 21-0? Okay. Yeah, it's just the whole excitement of the game being back, but at the same time, like you can enjoy it, but also realize that it does have to be better. All right. Oh, wait. For whatever reason, we have no recruiting hours. That's interesting. It's just checkmarked. I'm not really sure why. So we're simulating Week 2, Liberty. This game I scheduled just because I think it's going to be a close game. We're 2 very similar teams. But I did make it a home game, so we'll see if we can't come away with a dub here. All right, well, this is a little bit of a surprise. We already have a commitment. Week 3 of the season, and Ryan Roll, the running back, 3 stars out of Wisconsin, has already committed to this team, which is a little bit of a surprise to me. We had to wait till like week 6 to get a fullback commit last year. So, hey, maybe things are turning around for the Chips. All right, well, we did lose to Liberty 13-7. Close loss. It was a close matchup. I'm not too upset. We really don't care about wins or losses until we get the MAC play, honestly. At this stage of the dynasty, we just want to compete for MAC championships, try to make our way into a good bowl game, but that's gonna be pretty tricky to do. Now the next 2 games is where it gets interesting. However, both Michigan and Florida State, top 10 opponents to start the year, have already lost a game. Okay. All right, so recruiting is finally back up. We don't have a lot of hours, so we're going to have to do this very strategically. Make sure we're focusing this time on the right players. Kevin Funchess, MSU is in the running on him. He's very early in the stage here. We're way behind on Taiwan Rhodes. I don't think we can compete with Notre Dame, so we could just forget about Roland Lee. Lester Bollocks. Reggie Biggs, we're in good shape. We've already been locked out on Mitchell Henningsen. We'll get him off the board. We're leading on Reed Myers, 3-star middle linebacker. But there's some schools that could certainly come up and get something going here. Oh, wait, we have 115 hours. Did that just update, or I don't know what happened. So we're going to be a little conservative, but we don't want to forget about him. We'll just do a little bit of that. Let's go back to the board. We're locked out when it comes to Rocky Keller. But for whatever reason, this is still, like, lit up a little bit. I don't really know what's happening when it comes to this. Miami of Ohio is big on Rocky Keller. Syracuse. Seth Mangum. Cornerback. I feel like we can make something happen here. Oh, actually, no, we can't. We've already sent the house. We're just going to have to wait and see what it takes when it comes to Mangum. Garrison Mama. I totally forgot about him. Oh, God, we got no shot on this guy. Michigan, Penn State, LSU, Ohio State. We've offered him a scholarship, but we've spent no time trying to get him. We've got 90 hours remaining. Fuck it. Just to try and sneak in to that top 8, because he's not even there yet. So let's see if it happens. If it doesn't, we spend no more time on him. Georgia's in on Jaden Clapp. It's not looking good there. However, we do have the safety in Hennessy. We're number 1 on his board. We're number 1 on the other free safety, Casey Hill. Mizzou, Michigan State on Brenton Brownlee. We're already locked out there. We might as well forget that. Another lockout. All right, that's fine. I feel like we're in decent shape on all the rest of these guys. However, we spent 5 hours on Eric Ayu. We could just send the house at him. But do we really need a 3-star kicker that bad? Not really. We just got one. And then Lichtensteiger. We're number 1 on his board. We're apparently very good at recruiting punters, but I'm not certain we need to really do much of anything with Lichtensteiger here. So we're going to go back to the top here and try and spend these 40 hours in a good way. Helm is only a 2-star receiver. We're probably going to want to add some more receivers to our board here in a little bit. Got Lil John. We spent some on him. We're good there. Dante Blum was a 4-star. All right, so we can't do much right now, but we can try to hard sell. We've got just enough hours for that. Let's focus on some things that CMU does well, but not pro potential, because oddly enough, that's not an interest to him. Something like this. Something like time to get to work. Let's try that, just to get some hours in on Damian Blum. So, we know we're going to get blasted this game, even against a Michigan team that has already lost the game. They're ranked 12th now. We're doomed. This is going to be probably the worst loss CMU takes since we've taken over. But, hey, you never know. We've improved from last year. We're just not on a level to compete with Michigan, of course. So we're just going to simulate and just hope to be competitive, honestly. Well, how bad did it go? Actually, not that bad at all. 24-17 loss to Michigan. I was expecting at least a 30-point loss. But we built up this team a little bit enough, and we improved enough in the offseason to the point that we didn't really lose that bad. How Michigan went up in the rankings after that, I have no idea. We're 1-2 right now. We've got a game against Florida State coming up, which we're surely going to lose that one too. Then we enter MAC play. That's going to be the beef of our season and what we really care about. So we're in good shape right now, despite having a losing record. Let's go into the prospect list. I want to look at any state, and I want to look at receivers, because we really haven't done much when it comes to them. We've got a 4-star here that's open. What a absolute game breaker a 4-star type receiver could be for a school like CMU. We don't really need to look at 4 stars. I'm only going to look at 1 or 2. Derek Wolf. Steve Huerta. Scott McKinnon. Nick Schlereth. Why are there so many white wide receivers here? Paul Rhodes. A Texas wide receiver, though, in Dom Vernon. All right, add him to the board. And then let's try and focus on... Yeah, let's just sort by 3-star prospects. Look for some more realistic receivers for us. Like Alex Gash. We're actually in the running here on Andy McCauley. He's from Detroit. Stephon Post. I guess we're running nothing but post routes. All right, we'll add those guys to the list. Head down here with only 50 hours. This is going to be a little bit of a step back, but we are going to offer scholarships to all of these guys. And then, especially when it comes to the 4 stars, do whatever work we can, which isn't going to be much, it appears, this week. Like, we already only have 25 hours, so just get a little bit of interest going in those two. And then we got 15 hours left. We'll put those remaining points in one of the more realistic targets for us in Alex Gash. We'll do a little bit of that, and that's our recruiting for the week. Well, we already have another commit, our second of the season already. It is Lester Bullocks, 3-star linebacker out of Zeeland, Michigan. Okay, I love the name. Welcome to the Chips. So it is indeed Florida State week. We face off against the number 7 Seminoles. But before that, we get into recruiting yet again. We've got 90 hours, which isn't a lot, but it's enough to do at least a little bit of something. But where are these points going to be well served? Nick Foncesa, the right tackle, 4-star right tackle. We lead on him currently, but we can't do anything else outside of scout him. And I don't really think I want to mess around with scouting with just how few hours we have. I'd rather take shots in the dark. We want to put these points in on trying to get players to our school. Any players, because 3 stars, 4 stars, any one of them is probably an improvement over what we have. Damian Blum. We could throw a little bit at him. We don't have a lot of wiggle room in terms of what we can do, but we can do a tiny bit. And now we are also at the point where we can start scheduling visits. However, it doesn't look like we have many home games. What the hell? So we should probably do that, but for the moment we're just kind of have to be screwed on that with the amount of hours and the amount of hours we've already spent on people. It's gonna be a little tricky. Bullocks already committed. We don't have to worry about that. Let's head back to the overview so I can see where we're at on some of these guys. Pole's already committed. Helm, we trailed just a little bit, but we haven't done anything when it comes to Brett Helm. We're going to do some of the easier things to try to influence Helm. Foncesa we lead. Littlejohn we lead. Montague we lead. Blum we're a little bit behind. But we don't really have anything we can do when it comes to Blum, so we're going to have to leave that alone. Funchess, MSU's leading, but we haven't done anything when it comes to him. So once again, just going to go with the easy stuff, the cheaper stuff. We've already got Taiwan Rhodes committed to Pitt, so that's not good. We'll take him off the board. Macaulay we lead. Not going to pay any attention to him right now. Biggs can't do anything else. We're locked out on Rocky Keller. That's a little bit unfortunate. Miami of Ohio, of all teams. We'll remove him from the board. We haven't done anything on Mangum, but I feel like we could certainly sway him still. Like, Pitt and Boston College, lower level ACC teams. So, hey, he could come to CMU and just be a starter right away. So we're going to do the easy things when it comes to Seth Mangum. Mama. Oh, well, would you look at that? We have jumped to the top of the board on Garrison Mama, who is still garnering interest from some competitive Big Ten schools, Michigan and Penn State, Louisville, LSU, Ohio State, Wisconsin, and Utah are his top 8. We do not belong here. But for whatever reason we currently lead, we can't do any more. Jaden Clapp. I didn't really do anything on him. We might here in a second. I feel like that's going to be more... it's going to be better suited to use those points on a guy like Casey Hill. 30 points. We'll contact the friends and family, and then we're going to search the social media. And then that will be our recruiting before we face off against the Florida State Seminoles. Bunch of early season commitments for the Chippewas this time around. Another linebacker in Reggie Biggs and another 3-star. None of the big guys yet, but you wouldn't have expected that. But hey, we take commitments. Our class is already like half as big this year as it was a year ago. How bad did we lose to Florida State? Only by 10. This team continues to surprise me. We have 2 top 10 teams as of this moment that we haven't lost to in a unrespectable manner. I'll take it. 65 hours just is not enough. But it feels like it is a lot lower on the bye week for whatever reason. We're leading on Brett Helm, but we are very close. I'm not super sold on the 2-star receiver. Unless there's a guy that we really want, I think we're going to focus on those receivers we added to the board later. Foncesa, we can't do anything else with. We're probably going to lose out on him, but we will at least make the top 3. And we have made the top 3. We're just probably a little bit too far behind in Wisconsin. Unless he waits a week, and then we can, I don't know, maybe schedule a visit with him or something. Lil Jon, there is a little bit of wiggle room that we can do something with. Not much. But I'll spend the 5 hours on it. We could have tried to sway him, but oh well. Montagui, we still lead. No worries there. Blum. I mean, Montagui's only in his top 8 right now, so a little bit of a worry later, but not right now. When it comes to Blum, the 4-star right guard. Wait, we have a deal breaker with him, apparently. Well, then why are we first on his board? Well, we can't really do anything else with him anyway, so that is what it is. Funchess. We could add some more in on Funchess. I don't know. We're so far down towards the bottom of the board. I think we just go towards these receivers and try and work on the rest of these guys. Now, we're leading on Andy McCauley anyway. So that works for me. So what we're going to do is contact the friends and family, a softer approach. But we should also focus on these 4-stars. Where are we at? I mean, Duke, North Carolina, Virginia Tech. I'm not super worried about that. We can't send the house this week, but we can do this. It's probably not something I wanted to do. However, we've done it anyway. And then there was the other 4-star receiver in Vernon. Got interest from Baylor and TCU, but he is from Texas. So that's not a surprise, and we don't really have the time to do that. We're not even at his cutoff point, though, so that's a little worrisome. Dom Vernon. I'm going to DM him and just try to make something happen. I just don't know. Just to try and sneak into that top 8, and then maybe we can make some progress on him when we have some more hours to work with. All right, well, the CMU Chippewas enter MAC play, but not before we get back to the recruiting trail. That's pretty much all there is to do here in Dynasty. 170 hours, so we're going to have a good chunk of time to spend here. Don't have to worry about roll. We could get some more action in on Brett Helm. Slight lead over Northern Illinois right now, but MSU is sitting in there. I mean, he's a 2-star, though. I feel like our points would rather be spent on the 4-stars. Unfortunately, we're going to miss out on Nick Foncesa. He just committed to Wisconsin, so off the board he goes. We tried to wait a week. It didn't work. Montagui, we still got a big lead, but he's still in his top 8. Blum, we've got a deal breaker with. I'm going to leave him here just in case there's something that can be done with that. Funchess, big influence from MSU right now. Little bit of something on him to try and make some work happen. McCauley, I'm not super worried about. 2-star. Bullocks is already committed. Biggs is already committed. Myers, top 3. Rutgers, UMass, and ourselves. We can schedule a visit. It's probably not a bad call. Akron, who we beat in the championship game of the MAC last year, or Kent State? I'm going to go... I mean, they're low-tier opponents either way. Scheduling a visit, I really don't know if it does that much for us. So you know what we're going to do instead is we're going to hard sell them. If I can find something that focuses on those three, yeah. Focuses on those to try and get Reed Myers. McNichols, we're in the top 3 with Navy and Army. What a bizarre top 3 for Dennis McNichols. He either wants to play ball for the Chips or go to a service academy. Interesting. And we really, well, actually, we have maxed out what we can do on him, so it's all up to chance now. Mangum, slight lead over Boston College. We can do more. So let's throw in a little bit of that. Garrison Mama. Unconcerning lead. Jaden Clapp, get him off the board. The 4-star free safety, Deontay Hennessy, is committed to Iowa State. We're locked out on Clarence Warrior. IU, we're still ahead by a good margin. Make sure we are even more. And now we get into those receivers from earlier. We're looking good for the top 3 right now, moving up. We can't do much else outside of this, but that's going to allow us to focus some points here on Dom Vernon. Where are we on Dom Vernon's list? 3rd, behind Baylor and TCU. That's not a surprise. We're going to send the house on Dom Vernon and hope for the best when it comes to that. We have 10 hours left to spend. And we haven't really done much when it comes to Andy McCauley, and yet we're still leading there. Post. We'll spend those 10 hours on Post. All right, Chips Open MAC play with a 28-13 win over Bowling Green. And now it's a rematch of the MAC championship game from a year ago. At home against Akron before we face Western. Ooh, only 40 hours to work with. That ain't great. That ain't great at all. We have somehow jumped Baylor when it comes to influence on Dom Vernon. Is there anything else we can do when it comes to Vernon? No, we're kind of maxed out, which is a little bit unfortunate. So, limited amount of hours. Let's try and focus on some guys that we can realistically get. We actually have 2 deal breakers right now. That sucks a little bit. So who are those deal breakers with? A corner. We're right in the running when it comes to McNichols. And we're also in pretty good spot when it comes to Garrison Mama. So I'm not super worried about that. What about right guard? We still have a deal breaker with, yet we're still leading. I'm not sure what that means. We can't do anything else on Damian Blum, but yet we're the top school when it comes to influence, so I have no idea. So let's go back to the prospect list and take a look at offensive guard and see if there's any others. Well, we're actually good when it comes. Or is Montegi the guy with the deal breaker? No, it's Blum. So truth be told, I mean, it would be great to have a 4-star, but we don't really need to do anything else. Or at least have a recruit in that spot. So 40 hours, where are we going to spend these? We tried to do a little bit of something on Post. I have no idea where we even are when it comes to him. I can't even send the house. We have that few hours. Do that. And then somewhere we can spend 10 hours. We'll go with the other receiver in McCauley. Hey, look at that. MAC Defensive Player of the Week. Free safety. Elijah Ricard. Senior. All right. Gonna have to replace him soon, but 6 solo tackles Hoping that means we won. No, we did not win. 31-24. Lost to Akron. Ouch. That's unfortunate. I do believe that's our first MAC loss since we've taken over the chips. 155 hours. This is good news for us. Let's see where we need to spend these. We're still leading on Montague. Not really worried. However, we could get a almost instant commit just spending a little bit of time on him. And that way we don't even have to worry about Blum. It'd be great to have him. However, we've actually just been jumped by Liberty, so when it comes to Blum, not looking good. Funchess, we're somehow surprisingly close, but we can't do anything else. Everything else has the hours that I can't spend on him. This defensive tackle, still very early in his recruiting. We'll just do a little work on him. Hey, we're CMU. We need 2 stars. We're good on Bullocks and Briggs. Reed Myers is committed to Rutgers. McNichols is committed to Navy. Was a little bit worried about that. We got the deal breaker with Mangum. We're leading on Mama, but oh boy. Look at that top 5 we're competing against. Michigan, Louisville, Penn State, and LSU. I don't like our chances when it comes to Garrison Mama. I will say that. Casey Hill, lead. We can soft sell him, and I think I'm going to do that. Once again, going to just try and go for the ones he's for sure interested in. And then that question mark. IU leading, but he's still only in his top 8. Not like this is a really big need for us. I'm going to leave that alone. And then we're going to try and come down here to these receivers. Nothing I can do else on Stepniak. We lead over Virginia Tech and Duke, but a good chance to make his top 3. We're good on Dom Vernon. Wow. Look at that. We are actually very close to probably signing Dom Vernon, the Texas receiver. And now we can kind of try and focus on some of these lesser guys. Now, we got some big boy interest here on Alex Gash, too. Fuck it. I think we might... Alright. I feel like here's the strat. No. Actually, that's not the strat. We're going to hard sell. We can't hard sell on Macaulay. Can we hard sell on... We can hard sell on Gash. Which is what we're going to do. Can we find something that hits all of those interests? Yes, we can. Perfect. Then Macaulay. We've got Post here. Not a lot. I don't think we're... Yeah, we can't do anything when it comes to Stefan Post. Got 50 hours to spend somewhere. That's the punter, the kicker. We've been locked down on Mangum. Locked down on Blum. Well, let's add some more to the prospect list then. Now, the only problem with this is that we're going to have to offer him a scholarship first, which means we can't do anything here on Cameron Blunt right now. It might be a fruitless endeavor. We might as well just fill our board with other guys that are recommended here and offer them scholarships. We got 80 hours all of a sudden? How the fuck did that happen? All right, the Chippewas back on track. 24-21 win over rival Western Michigan, who is down in the dumps right now at 1-6. So the fact that we were only able to beat them by 3 is not exactly a good sign. However, the Chips are halfway to bowl eligibility. All right, any changes here? We still got the deal breaker on Blum, yet we're in his top 3. I'm just going to leave him here in case something changes. Same with Mangum, especially because with Mangum, we're leading right now. Only 50 hours, man. Cameron Blunt. That's a 4-star defensive tackle, and we're getting down to that spot for him where if we do a little bit of this, we might be able to sneak in to that top 8 and just hope for the best, which is exactly what I'm gonna do. Okay, don't let the chips get hot. That's a 7-point win over Northern Illinois. So 3-1 in MAC play. We're in good shape right now to have a good season. What do we got? 4 games remaining. Ohio, who is 5-3, 3-0 in MAC play though. That might be tough. Miami of Ohio, 5-3, but 3-1 in the MAC. Kent State, 1-3 in MAC play, and Eastern, surprisingly, 2-2. So we're back to recruiting. We couldn't do much of anything, as Brett Helm has officially committed to Northern Illinois, so we can take him off of our board. And Blum has committed to Liberty. Mangum's still surprisingly open. He's got the deal breaker with it. Actually, the deal breaker is gone. Oh. Well, Garrison Mama, it was a nice run in hoping that we could get him. All the funny names I miss out on. So Garrison Mama can come off the board. Mangum might be a guy we're going to want to throw some points at, but we'll see. There's also Dom Vernon here, which we are losing out on right now, and we can't do anything else because I don't think we can schedule a visit. Yeah, he's still... wait. Oh, we're in the top 3, so you can only schedule visits when they're in the top 5? Is that what it is? Because we're in that stage. Good chance we lose out on Vernon, unfortunately. But, we'll see. Stepniak is somewhat close. Can we do anything else? We actually can. We can soft sell Jared Stepniak, which I am going to try and do. However, this is going to be a tricky one. Is there anything that focuses on the 2 check marks? No. So, we're going to want to focus on... Actually, oh wait, no, it was right in front of my face the entire time. Let's go with that. On Stepniak. Gash, we're leading by a good margin. No reason to do much there. We are way behind on Cameron Blunt. However, we're in the running. Oh, we can't do any more. Leading on Kamani Hawkins, right defensive end, but there's some big teams in there on him. Just do that. Isaiah Bloom, we're leading. Open stage of recruitment. I don't think we're going to have a chance in hell on JP Hill. And we're locked out here on Truman at the bottom of the board. And Weeks also here at the bottom. Antoine Jr. 3-star defensive tackle. We'll lock in that. Got 10 hours left to spend. I mean, doing this on Clyde Burt seems like a big mistake, but... you never know. Maybe that's what sways him as that wraps up recruiting. Well, we may miss out on the 4-star receiver commits, but we do have a 3-star in Alex Gash, out of state as well, Arlington, Texas, committed to Central Michigan. Hey, MAC Defensive Player of the Week, cornerback Brendan Dis Fernandez. That's a name I'm unfamiliar with, but way to go, dude. 4-point loss to Miami of Ohio. That is not good news. 28-24. Redhawks? Red? Red? What? Who is Miami of Ohio again? Alright, Montague, locked out, verbally committed to MSU. That's bad. Let's get all these verbally commits out of here. Casey Hill, he's gone. Dom Vernon, we tried. However, we're in the running on Stepniak. There's not much else we can do with him. But I suppose he's there. We should really probably add some more prospects to our board. Anybody. Just to get players in here. 2-star quarterback. No, I don't think I will. Marquez Tutt, a center. 2-star quarterback, Manny Pack. J.D. Brutus, defensive tackle, 6 foot, 292 pounds. That sounds like a guy we need. Robert Hurt, yes. We're going solely based on names right now. Alright, so we just added a whole bunch of guys to our board. Mostly funny names. What we're going to do is just offer scholarships on all of them. See where that gets us. Being a lot more in-depth when it comes to the recruiting this year, because we wound up with a class of like 8 guys in year 1. Now, George McCauley, we lead. However, we're still in the top 5 phase, so it wouldn't hurt to put some more points in there, even though it's a 2-star defensive tackle. Mangum has unlocked us here, and we do still lead, so we don't probably have to do much to get Mangum to commit, so we'll just do a little bit of that. When it comes to Eric Ayu, still in the top 5, spend some points on him, just do a little bit of something. The punter, I'm not super worried about. And now we get down to Stepniak. Unfortunately, there's just nothing else I can do outside of scout him, which I really don't know if I want to do with how limited we are on points. Gash is committed, that's good. McCauley, we're high on his influence in his top 3. I don't know if just this is going to send him over the top, but we're going to hope that it does. Post, he's in his top 5. I guess I could do something else, but it's not super imperative that we do. I'd rather focus some time on some other positions. We're 3rd on Cameron Blunt, the defensive tackle, but we spent all the points that we can on him. Andy Jordan, we haven't done that much with him. Just that. That works. 60 hours left. Where are we at on Antoine Jr.? Very open. Can't do anything else. Jarius Gano. Major interest from Wisconsin, and Michigan's in here as well. We don't really need a running back necessarily, so we're just going to forget about that. Marquez Tutt, not a major need for us. J.D. Brutus. I've already offered him a scholarship. Just going to try and get in here a little bit. Dion Parms, same deal. I don't think anybody on this board has even offered him a scholarship yet, so that's good news for us. And then same deal with Marcus Sledge and Robert Hurt, and that's going to do it for our recruiting here before we face off against Eastern. We get Andy McCauley committed, the 3-star receiver out of Detroit. That's a player we should get. We still have a chance at a 4-star receiver, albeit slight. And another MAC Defensive Player of the Week. Now, in the previous 2 times a CMU Chippewa has won MAC Defensive Player of the Week, we've lost. So this isn't exactly a great omen. We did it again! How do we continue to get MAC Defensive Player of the Week when we lose games? We lost by 1! What did he do to earn Defensive Player of the Week when the defense allowed 39? What is defense in the MAC? So now we head into the final week of the regular season. I don't think we're winning a MAC title this year at 4-3 in the conference. And this game against Eastern on the road is for bowl eligibility. Into the recruiting screen again. Most of these guys up here, there's nothing else we can do on Stepniak, unfortunately. Gash is already signed on. Post we lead. We're in a bad spot when it comes to Cameron Blunt, but again, there's just with the limits, there's just nothing else we can do. Andy Jordan we lead, top 5 with Michigan in it, is not exactly great. Got 75 hours. I'm going to try and soft sell him. Wait, I can't. Are these limited? You can only do a certain amount of them a year? Alright, well, we're going to have to try something like this. And hope that that works. 55 hours left. Where was that 4-star? Did we still have another 4-star receiver that we were looking at? Right, it was Stepniak, and we can't do anything with him. That is really, really unfortunate. However, what else can Duke do outside of a visit, unfortunately? That's where things are going to go wrong. Post we lead. We're way up there in the top 3. Let's see if there's just a little bit of something we can do to get Post on this team. We'll do that. Blunt, I don't really like our chances, especially with the limited amount of hours that we do have. However, we're gonna not send the house because we've already done that. Wait, what? Didn't it just say I had hours remaining? Okay, or did I? Maybe I did it. I don't know. It didn't. The game didn't act like I did it. All right. Leading on Hawkins. Leading on Bloom, but very early. Leading on Clyde Burt, barely. We tried to send a little bit of a Hail Mary at some of these guys down here that didn't really work out all that well, but we're the only one that's offered him a scholarship, so to a lot of these guys down here, nobody's got any offers in on him. 35 hours to spend somewhere. Is there a 4-star that we haven't touched yet? No. But we'll spend 35 hours on Bernard Cheeks, the quarterback. Final game of the regular season. CMU needs this against Eastern, who's 4-7 and 4-3 in MAC play, to get bowl eligible, man. We went 10-2 in the regular season last year. All right, that's an emphatic win, 35-16 over Eastern Michigan, to just barely squeak by with bowl eligibility. I really thought we were setting up for a good season. That was not the case, unfortunately. But we should be headed to a bowl game, which is kind of where I wanted to hopefully go tomorrow, either in the MAC title game or a bowl game. So I guess we got that going for us. 125 hours to spend in recruiting. Macaulay, I can't do anything else. I can't do anything else. Bullocks is here, Biggs is here. Mangum. We can get some effort in on Mangum. We can soft sell him. Perfect. And then we're also going to do that. Max him out on the hours we can spend. The kicker, IU. Not essential to us. There are hours we can spend on him, but he's so high up and so low interest from anybody else that we really don't have to do anything else. Stepniak has locked us out. He's going to Duke. We're locked out on Blunt. We kind of expected that. We're in a really good spot on Post. Nothing else we can do. Jordan, we're good. Hawkins, we can spend some hours on here. I'm actually going to try and sway him, if at all possible. We're going to go here. Bloom, Isaiah Bloom, We lead in the very early stages. But we haven't done anything on him yet, so... Run, stop, and defensive end. Fuck it. Send the house. We're locked out on Hill. We're locked out on Brutus. We just did that on Bloom. We got 20 hours to spend elsewhere. Clyde Burt. We lead just slightly in the early stages over Michigan. Antoine Jr. Can't do anything here. Dion Parm. We're going to just get the 2-star and Sledge right out of here. Robert Hurt. Throw that at him. And then let's head back. There's got to be somebody I have a 10-point. Actually, we'll just do this on Bloom, and we'll do that on Burt. All right, we have a recruit that is signed on. George McCauley, 2-star defensive tackle. Nothing to be super excited about. But hey, it's a body. And we have a couple of recruits. A guy that we were locked out on at one point this season, and Seth Mangum from Princeton, New Jersey, cornerback. Good position of need. Wow, recruits are flying in. Stephon Post, 3-star wide receiver out of Alabama. 3 more Chippewas have signed on. Heisman winner goes to Connor Wiegman of Texas A&M. Under 4,000 yards, but 43 touchdowns, 9 picks. We are invited to the Quick Lane Bowl, so our bowl game is in Detroit. However, it's against the Big Ten's Washington Huskies. So, do I like our chances in this game? No. Will we give it our all? Give it our CMU best? You're damn right.